Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 12 of Let's Play Cities Skylines Trinity. See, I got all of it right this time. Okay, so the question is, what are we going to do today? Well, in order to discuss that, I want to discuss what my big upcoming goal is. You see this patch of land right here? I want to turn this land basically north of this rail and east of this road into a downtown hub, maybe the downtown hub. This is going to be New Prospectsburg right here. This unassuming patch of theoretical farmland is going to be our thriving hub. But before we get there, I want to make at least one, if not two, more rail lines. Although before I even do that, there's something I want to take care of real quick. I just want to point something out. I set aside some land for, well, you know, there's going to be a lot of rails coming off of here, so I want to set some land to not be developed on. The same thing for the Highway Commission. You see this highway? Eventually there will be a highway. So, and this happens in real life too, so it's not too much of a surprise, but this land here has been set aside by the Highway Commission, meaning no development can happen on that plot of land. Like, roads can be put down if necessary, but no buildings are going to be built on Highway Commission land until the highway is finished. Okay, but what we can do is we can use the rest of this land that's over here, and we will, to create a little commercial hub at the exit of the highway. It's going to be very small, and it's not going to be overly exciting, but it will exist, and it will help to mitigate some of our outstanding commercial demand, which is ultimately the goal. Oh, look at that. It just altered that, but that's okay. So, by the way, might as well do it. Spring out some trees. What if we plant some adlers along here, just for some variety? Yeah, we just spent 4 episodes making a single highway. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, if you really don't enjoy it, please tell me so that I can do things like that off screen in the future. However, until that time, I'm going to keep doing it. So if you do enjoy it, please tell me that too, and I'll keep it on camera. And yes, the naming stuff video is coming. I think I'll do that when I finally get Prospectburg created, because that way we can put your names on all the new streets in that new area. So all of your streets will be grand, heavily built up areas. But yeah, look at that. It's almost like we're in the country here, except for all the traffic lights and crossings. So yeah, let's plant some more adlers over here. Yes, they're called adlers because we are adding them. If we remove them, that's right, they would be called subtractlers. There we go. There you go. Kept you hanging on for a minute there. But we are going to very happily make some commercial. And this should be a reasonable spot for low density commercial. Makes sense to me, makes sense to you. So let's get water over here. Also have to get power. Let's see here, how to best get power. Probably just to do this, and then when we build the railroads, we'll figure out something at that point. But there we go. Also, we might as well do one other thing while we're here. It's going to be very difficult for people to cross between here and there. So, what if we take this nice little happy tool here? Just want to check. If I do that, I can still do this, right? Good. Well, let's just put these here, because I want a way for pedestrians to access the new area. So, there we have it. Pedestrians can walk from here up to the commercial area. So that's good. We will hit play on that. And as you can see, people are almost immediately taking to the new zones. So I predict that this area will become a hit in quite short order. It's going to be rad. But what I wanted to do today is to create a rail line that goes between this part of the city and all the way to this town. So we are going to start development of that. Now, other things to think about here. I do also want a rail line that's going to go north-south. It's going to swing around Old Junction. And it's going to go here, and then it's going to cross into here. So maybe we can build all these things in tandem. But yeah, this road here I see as the sort of the outer bounds of Prospectburg. However, we might be building a new avenue, or more than one avenue in the area. So its status as a major road will probably be downgraded at some point, considering it's already pretty busy and we only have 14,000 people in the city. When there's a major hub right here, a major downtown, this will obviously no longer cut it. So there's going to be plenty of new roads built to go around that. Okay, but here's what we are going to do. We are going to slap down a rail. Nope, not that. We're going to slap down another hub. We can also put it down a bus hub if we want, but no, we are going to put down a rail hub. And we're going to have to hit pause for this, because remember our digging projects? Well, the digging will indeed commence once again for this rail, and we're actually going to make it go connect to the outer one, because the other one is going to be elevated and come over in a similar fashion to what we did here. Maybe not exactly the same, we'll see. But once again, clicky click. Also, maybe that should be a tad bit lower. But oh, here we go, time to dig. And yeah, that's good. And it's going to very gently slope around. Where it's going to connect up to here. Of course, we're going to smooth it out. So, going back to click on that. Okay. And there we go. A very nice little thing here. I want there to be three train stations that all serve as sort of hubs for this area. This one, that one, and there will be another one further up here. So that is the plan for the moment. Now, next thing to do, of course, is to squeeze this all in. use some of that soil that we dug out to put here. Likewise, doing that here. Alright. Also, we could probably throw some trees down, but we're going to worry about that in a little bit. Oh, I probably should have waited to do this because we're building a road here. So, whoops. Okay, my keyboard. Once again, keyboard problems are happening. So, let's see here. If we click on this, well, no one's going to be building zones here anyway, so let us actually, yeah, that's fine. Our, well, for the time being, Main Street is over here. We can have this go up and over. Like so. Rad. Rad, rad, rad. Alright, but now we have to get a little bit complicated. Well, no, not really, but we just have to make sure we're not screwing around here. Because we are going to take this elevation here, and we are going to use it for some rail. Some more rail. Let's see. Getting this to slope down nicely is going to be a bear of a task. Oops. Whoa, wrong. But could work out. Would you look at that? Easier than I thought. Although it's going to have to curve pretty sharply to come over here, because these are our elevated rail lines, you know, our part of our metro, and they're both going to be used, so we have to be very careful what we're doing over here. What I'm planning on happening is one of these is going to go down, one of them is going to go up, one of them is going to go right and eventually across. The one that goes up is going to go across also, and the left one is going to go across as well. It might even go over to here. So I'm thinking we might have to think about what this one's doing too, because one of these is almost certainly going to need to cross. So let us very carefully do this. And let's see. As for this one, well, we don't know yet, but we know that we can easily have it avoid this. In fact, can we make this nicer? That's my next question, because I believe we can. Alright. It looks like a little squeeze under there, but believe me, it's alright. Although, you know, if we don't really have to worry about spending too much money screwing with this, then we can do things like make the elevation a little bit more. Whoa! Okay, now that looks ridiculous. See, a lot of this game is trial and error. Like, does this work? Does that work? and that is going to be high enough. Of course, in real life, no rail would ever be this steep, but certain things you can excuse, and indeed have to excuse, for the sake of gameplay. You understand. But yeah, when we build this highway, it's going to go around here, and it's probably going to go up in this area. So this rail we're going to keep closer to here. Yeah, we're not going to build this whole rail now, but I believe we can begin the beginnings of it right here. And if changes need to be made in the future, then we can do that when the time has come. Alright. Level the ground. So there we go. Something very similar to what we have going on over there. And as I've said, I think the magic number is 7. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7 will be over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put station 6, and also might want to put the airport here somewhere, so we're going to leave this a lot further out. Put station 6 here, and we're going to put station 7 here. Actually, nah, it's fine where it is. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Well, it's time for more digging. So, and also our soil availability is very low, so throwing this down is one sure way to get some of that back. Now we can go between these power lines like this, right? Yeah, good. Because the less deletions I have to do, the happier I become. Okay, here's what we're going to do. It will be a tunnel or a cutout until that train station. But following that train station, it's going to just be ground level, because at that point we're going to be pretty far from the city center, and things I assume will be a little bit less dense over here. So there we go. And we're going to just tunnel. And cool. Rad as don't get sad, get rad. That's my message to you today. And as far as whether this one's going to be a cut or elevated, that we are going to determine when we get there. For now, though, let's do this. We have another historic farmhouse. I like the idea that the city itself is going to soon be encroaching on these historic farmhouses, and it's going to be very curious, like, how did this get here and all that. But I mean, I guess such things are possible. I kind of wonder if there are any remaining farmhouses in Upper Manhattan, because remember, until some point in the 19th century, New York didn't extend all the way up Manhattan, so you would have to assume there are some remnants of the farms that used to be there. What exactly those would look like, I am not sure, but they have to exist. Same thing in Philly. But, you know, Northeast Philly was rural a lot more recent than was Upper Manhattan. As recently as the early 20th century, some parts of the Northeast were still rural. So I imagine there has to be some trace of things, you know, in the Frankfurt area or places like that. Because Frankfurt was once a small town, a small country town that happened to be part of Philadelphia County, and then the county was sort of taken over by the city. It all became one city, and then eventually, of course, the city expanded, and now the entire area within the city of Philadelphia is urban, although it wasn't always the case. Okay. We're going to have this come up. Oh. And then back down. Fun fact, you can make it just 3 high instead of 4. Although there's no way that trains look like they can go through there, and sometimes appearances isn't everything, of course, but appearance is not nothing. See that? Just a little higher, and now it looks like trains can go under. It also looks like they can't go up that slope, but I imagine that trains in this game have some sort of like special tires or something. Not that trains have tires IRL, but in this game they do. So there you go. Train tires. Oh man, yeah, hooking up these bits at the end. It's always fraught. We're just going to do that. That's actually better looking. But we have this end done, and if you recall, we already have a bridge. So the big question becomes, you know, how close I want it to that station, because people are going to be walking between the two if they're anywhere near each other, and I think that is pretty inevitable. So what I'm thinking also, if we have another rail line that's going to be going on here, having 2 stations so close together might be a little bit, it might be a problem, is what I'm trying to say. But it might work too, so we'll just have to play it by ear. What I want to do is actually raise the land up to this level. We're going to temporarily cut out this stuff. Yes, even you. Sorry, dude who lives there. Actually, we'll do this. So there, now you're fine. Now you're fine. We're going to fill this in. We're going to demo this. Yeah, I swear there's a way to hold. I think you held shift, maybe control. There is a way to click and hold and rotate it. I know there is, because I've done it before. But I am, you know, I've talked many times about my poor memory, so I have no idea anymore how to do this thing that I once did. Okay. It's not actually on the level, but we can just bridge under. It's not so unrealistic that a road could be so low, because there's plenty of low bridges and low clearances. Especially in older states like where I live in Pennsylvania. Okay, but let's and we can keep this as a trestle or a whatever they call it. There we go. And now we might as well slap down our last 2 stations. Well, let's go in reverse order. We know that the last one is going to be here. And look at all the happy people. Anyone except people on this block are very happy about this station. They're like, oh, why can't it be closer? And we're like, sorry, somebody has to eat the last pickle in the jar. That's an expression I just made up. Let me think about this. I do have a feeling, however, that this area might become urbanized in the future, more so than the other area on the other side of the river. So I'm going to do... It's going to be bigger though, like the gaps, or in the words of Dave Matthews, the space between. Although, let's be as smart as we can about this. There we go. Higher. Higher we go. There's a lot of songs that have the lyrics higher and higher in them. And whether they have a religious significance or I guess a personal significance, it depends on the song. A little bump here. A lolsy little bump. Yeah, sometimes I can just be full YOLO mode, and other times I can be really anal. Pretty funny. But there we go. That's a lot more smooth. The slope even begins over here. And that looks really impossible to go under, but people will. You know what would be a little fun to do? Let's actually... Because you see this too. And oftentimes they'll fill up with water if not properly. Aw, it smoothed it over. Okay, we're going to do this. And it's going to work. You'll see. Oh my god. Alright, we're going to do this first. Okay, just kidding guys. It's not going to happen. But it was a fun idea. Yes. After all, it was the Rolling Stones who said, you can't always get what you want. Although, very annoyingly, there are some people who seem like they always get what they want. But I bet even those people, when you really look at their lives, they don't always get what they want either. They only get a fraction of what they want. I have no doubt about that. Okay. And often they're probably no happier than you. And yes, we are destroying that ancient pillar. But sometimes some things do have to be destroyed. Not everything can be sacred. Oh, look at that. Doing the straight across has never worked in this city until now. But I am happy that it did. Whoa. Keyboard problems. Okay, landscaping. Can smooth it out. Okay. Yeah, let's make a big gap. Why not? And that can be later filled with any kind of any kind of thing that we want. Okay. Well, this is getting on a pretty long video. Let's just finish out with this, and we are going to keep it ground level to keep it going until we get to the station. And we'll elevate or dig as we need to. So, for the final action of this episode, we are going to create the rail line itself. Oh. Whoops. Well, poops. We have to do that. But you know what? We are going to leave this as a cliffhanger for the next episode. How will we ever connect it? How will it ever happen? The same way as everything else, but let's add a little mystery to it. Okay, but anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. So, if you're looking forward to riding the train, I'll see you then.